Hi everyone, my name is Melissa. My handle is Melissa_Dunn6. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for tuning in and taking the time to watch. So I'm going out to dinner tonight. It's pretty chill, but as a mom who works full-time, I really go out and have opportunities to dress up. So I'm a little bit extra on these side of vacations. So I'm just gonna film a get ready with me, sort of like a neutral soft glam look. I'm not entirely sure what I want to wear yet, so we'll pick an outfit to go with the makeup essentially. So it's starting to get warmer where I live, so that means I start to get sweatier. So I'm going to be using products I know last long on the skin, not too heavy. First, going in with Milk's Hydra Grip. Really enjoy this primer because it doesn't dry out the skin, but it has like that sticky texture, so it really prolongs the life of your foundation, concealer, powders. I haven't had a bad experience with this product yet. I know some people aren't a fan of the stickiness, but I really enjoy gripping primers. And I just let that primer sit on the skin because I'm going to be doing my eyebrows and then my eye makeup. I always do my base makeup last, unless I'm doing like a super simple eye look that I don't have to worry about fallout or cleaning up any messes. So since I already have my skincare and primer on, my eyebrows got some product in it. So they're a bit wet, so I just take like this is a sample I got from a NARS order. Sorry, it fell out the package. But this is a sample of their, what is this? The translucent crystal powder, and I literally just run that along my brows. That way, any brow product you add has something to stick onto, and it's just not like slipping and sliding around on wet skin and wet eyebrows. And I'm taking the Brow Pop Brow Pencil from Kosas in the shade medium brown to fill in my brows. So just brush them up. And I really like this pencil. I think the shade is really nice. And I don't do too much on my brows, so I'll run it along the bottom. Filling any sparse areas, and I'll add more product towards the end of the brow than towards the beginning here. And I'll run it along the top. And that's honestly all I do for brows, and then I just brush the product along, make sure it's blended in the brows. I don't have the time to focus too much on my brows. Well, let me just apologize if you hear like a humming or a buzzing. I have a fan on because my room is super hot, and like I said, we're getting into spring, so the space is gonna get hotter and I get sweaty. But this is where I have all my makeup, all my lighting, and it's the quietest house in the room. Everywhere else, everyone's screaming, so I'm sorry. Once I filled in my brows, I take this concealer from Aerie Perez. It's the Arnica concealer in the shade Latte. And I just use it to clean up my brows. And this is actually a paintbrush I got from like arts and crafts store. And at this point, I'm just gonna leave my brows as is. I don't apply brow gel right now. I like to do that sort of at the end as a finishing step, because sometimes you may erase some of the brow or go over it with foundation or powder. So at the end, I'll just do some like tuning up of the eyebrows, add any product where I may need it, and run my brow gel through at the end. Before I go in with any eyeshadow, I prep my lids with a MAC paint pot. This is in the shade Painterly. And with this type of product to work, you want to use like the smallest amount. And I find blending it with your fingers so that the product warms up, it works best, because if you go in with a brush, sometimes it applies too much and it can make your lids look kind of like dry. Like I said at the beginning of the video, zero idea what I want to wear today, because it's starting to get nice. Like it was 75 midday. But it's raining and hard. But then when you look at the weather, towards nighttime, it's going to be dropping down into the 40s. So I'm telling you, living on the northeast is wild weather-wise. So not sure what I want to wear, but I think I'm going to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Instant Eye Palette Smoky Eyes Are Forever. Maybe stick more to like the browns and tans in this palette. My brushes are in desperate need of a washing, so ignore any staining you may see on a brush. So I'm going to take this, it's so old the name has run off, but it's from Real Techniques, like just your typical blending brush, and go in first with, this shade here. Take that shade and start just stamping it where my crease is. And I have hooded eyes, so a lot of times I'll do my I'm doing my makeup with my eyebrows lifted, but when I relax the eye, majority of it disappears. So I'll first go and pack the product here, but then make sure to blend on further up. Once I do that, I like to take a clean, fluffy blending brush. This is the Detail Pro from Sonia G, and just run that along the edge. Make sure the powder is blended and diffused out. And I'm going to take an even smaller blending brush. This is from Koyudo. I'm sorry, it doesn't say the name, but I'm going to go in with the darker brown and even deepen out that outer crease more. So similar technique, I'm going to pat, but this time because this shade is darker, I'm not going to blend it as high as the first shade. I'm going to go back in with that first brush we laid down, that first color, no extra color, and just, again, run it along the edges of the darker brown we just laid down. Say you do bring the darker shadows up higher than you'd like them, you can always go in with a matte lighter shade color and just blend it along the edges. So that'll bring down the intensity of the darker shades and just blend everything seamlessly. And to bring some brightness back into the eye, I'm going to go in with one of the lighter shimmers. I don't know which one though. Let's see. I'm going to go with the pinkier one to this one here, and apply it with my finger. So I want to use a foundation that has a decent amount of coverage but is long lasting. So I'm going to go in with the Dior Forever Undercover 24-Hour Full Coverage Foundation. I have it in the shade 015. I like this foundation because it's thin but has really good coverage and lasts really well on the skin. And the color match is pretty good for me. Because I have such redness, I do prefer a foundation with a more yellow tone, because if we look at my neck and chest, it's not red like my face. Add some shape and dimension to the face. I'm going to go in with the Milani Liquid Contour. I have it in the shade Honey. My face is very round, so I don't go too heavy on contouring, you know, like whatever I do, it's never going to look angular. So just to add some dimension, so across the forehead where the cheekbones would be if I did have more structure, and along the jawline. I barely ever contour my nose, and I really enjoyed this contour because it's really easy to blend out, and I feel like the color is very flattering, and the price point is also nice. I don't necessarily like the packaging, like the little foam applicator. Like I waste so much product with those, but it is what it is. Because the Dior foundation has such good coverage, I don't really need to conceal any acne marks or anything, but I am going to go in with concealer to add in some brightness towards the center of the face. So we know the pink concealer, that pink under eyes, like all the rage. So if you're interested in trying that out but don't want to spend a lot of money, the Maybelline Instant Red Rewind. It's a great formula, and they have it in the shade Brightener. I don't know if this would work for every skin tone, but if you are super pale like me, it's worth a try. And essentially what this is just like color correcting, right? Color correcting and concealer in one. So instead of going in normally with like that peach or pink corrector, it's kind of like an all-in-one product. This formula's been around a very long time. It blends out really nice. They now have a variety of shades. Also has that sponge tip applicator, but I don't mind it as much with concealer because like I can make use of it. It's just contour product, like I'm not going to be using too much. And to ensure like everything is blended together and looks nice, you don't have like crazy contour bronzer lines, take either the brush or sponge you use to apply your foundation and go over your whole face. In this way, you can't tell where one color starts and one ends. Now to set my face, I'm gonna go in with the One Size translucent setting powder. I only have the mini travel size. Definitely picking up one during the Sephora sale because I realized I really enjoy this powder. I use it almost every time I do like my makeup when I'm going out. So you just want to make sure you don't have like a lot of product accumulated under the eyes. I take it on it's like a small, I believe it's a blush brush, but I'll use it for powder, and just stamp it into the skin. Honestly, this powder is flawless. Like, look how blurred everything looks. Bronzer, I'm going in with the House Labs Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer Light Level 2. I don't have my final thoughts on this bronzer yet. I've only used it a handful of times. Seems to have like a bit of a neutral yellowish undertone, but it looks beautiful on the skin. I don't contour my nose, but I do like to take whatever's left over on the brush and just pass it along my nose. That way it doesn't get lost in the center of my face. I'm gonna skip highlighter today, since I want to go for something like more neutral. But I'm gonna go in with the Valentino Eye to Cheek eyeshadow blush in the shade 9. It's got a bit of like a satin finish, so I don't want like too much highlighter today, so this is fine. Another product I'm definitely gonna pick up a few more of. They're expensive though. And I know I have a wide face, so people would be like, don't go overboard on the blush because you'll make your face look wider. But like, I have a lot of landscape, so I'm gonna put color on it. You can also go back in with the original foundation or brush or sponge you use to apply your foundation, and run it along the powders because it's not like wet anymore, but it still has the product, so everything blends out seamlessly. Since I'm going to eat, I don't really want to think about lips or be applying, so I'm just going to go in with a lip liner and a gloss. This is from Charlotte Tilbury in the shade Iconic Nude. And for gloss, I'm going in with the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Sugar High. I'm gonna move back to completing my eyes, but before I do that, I'm gonna go in with some setting sprays. First setting spray I'm gonna go in with is MAC Fix Plus, just to take away any powderiness. Once that's dry and settled on the skin, I'm gonna go in with Urban Decay All Nighter. This will prolong the life of my foundation. I'm going to take a small blending brush and take that sort of khaki shadow and run it along the lower lash line. I'm going to take the lightest sort of champagne-y shimmer in the palette for the inner corner on a small like pencil brush. As my final step, I'm just going to apply some mascara and lashes off camera. These are from Salon Perfect, and I'll be right back. Here's the completed look. Nothing too crazy, neutral, soft glam. Thank you so much for joining me today and taking the time to learn with me, do my makeup with me. Let me know if you enjoyed this look, if you enjoyed the style of video. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to see me make a video on or learn about me. Please, I need the ideas. And I am an open book so long as you ask me. So let me know. I am all ears. I'll leave every product I mentioned below. And if I can find the brushes, those as well. If any link has an asterisk, it will be an affiliate link, meaning I would make commission if you shop through that link. If that makes you uncomfortable, that's fine. You can just shop from the retailer directly. Thank you for your time again. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Have a great day.